Hi guys, I am back on live again. I do know that for people that seen the live, I did go live yesterday, but I did not really do anything. I was just talking a lot, so I did delete and end that live pretty early. But this live is me making a custom order. So I will be talking about this in my YouTube video that we'll be posting this week. But I have a custom order for a sea turtle. And these are the colors. So he wants a custom order for the New York Jets. So he wants orange Bernat shell and a blue chenille home slim soft body. Little backstory. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to make this for like another week and a half because I had to order this online, but I happened to go to the Michaels today and they had it in stock, even though they said that they don't carry them in stores and they had two of them. So I am going to be making this custom sea turtle for a order, which shouldn't take too long because I've been making sea turtles. Not I wouldn't say for a while now, but I've definitely been making quite a few sea turtles. So I do know what I am doing. I am kind of upset because there was only two skeins of this, and they were both pretty rough. And I just picked the one that was softer of the two, just because I can't stand rough yarn. But there's nothing I can do about it. I needed the yarn, so I'm gonna suck it up because I need it for this order. Which is fine. I just need to I had like a yarn barf, so now I need to kind of unwind it a little bit. There we go. This yarn is not getting off to a good start, is it? Okay. Here. Ooh. I know this is the boring part because I just have to sit here and unwind this yarn. There we go. There we go. Got it. Now it's separated. Okay. And I think I just have to grab this barf off the ground. Here we go. Alright, I need to, there we go, shift this down a little bit. I need to hold the other end in place so that I don't, there we go. Because I need to be able to unknot these. There we go. Now it's unknotted. That was an obnoxious start to this live, but that's okay. Alright, so already not very good because I didn't even do that. The yarn came like that, so we're just gonna chop. Alright, so with sea turtles, I like to make the fins and the head and the tail, and then I work on the shell and I sew it all in, which I'm sure that's what everyone else does. It's just also what I prefer doing, because there is sewing involved, which I do not mind. A lot of people complain about sewing, but I actually love sewing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Turtles usually take me about an hour and 10 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes, depending on the type of turtle that I am making. Like when I make the special strawberry or watermelon ones or sunflower or anything like that, they take longer because there's extra parts to it. But this is just a basic turtle, just in different colors. So this one should take me about an hour and 10 minutes or so. But I am on live, so talking will definitely slow me down a bit. And this yarn is going to be on the rougher side, I can tell already, which I do not like at all, but I would prefer buying yarn in the store because I can feel it than, having someone getting it shipped and having someone pick the yarn for me. I do not like that idea very much. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Alright, so I'm working on the head right now. Right now we have 2 rows. We have just a small little circle. And this is the one stitch marker that I've been using for like a week or so. I have a container of them, but I don't. Obviously, I seem to always lose them, which everyone loses them. But I'm trying to stick to just a few at a time, so I don't go losing all of them at once. Oop. There we go. Here we go. And that should be, yep, the end of 3, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I've been getting better at crocheting, definitely. I used to be a lot worse with it, which is everyone. Practice, obviously. But I used to never count my stitches, and then I would mess up, and I had to frog like so far because I had no idea when I messed up. So as a precaution, I count like at the end of every row because I'm not really counting like how many times I'm doing this. I'm just repeating the same few steps over and over and over again. So I just go until I see the string that, I left on the inside is lined up with my hook, and then I count to make sure. And every now and again I am off, and I need like 24 stitches and there's only 23, and then I realize that I'm not exactly lined up. Like, here we go. Looking upwards at it, that yarn would look like this, but you have to look at where the yarn's coming from, and it's actually off. So that's most likely because there is 23. So let's double check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, hold on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 23. Exactly. So that just means I have to do it one more time. And now it is lined up with where the yarn came from. So YouTube, now it is, lined up where the yarn came from. So now we are at 24 for the head, which is when we do the rounds. This part is very simple because I just use a stitch marker, so there is no counting necessary. I just stick the marker in there, and I can go round and round and round, and I don't have to count. So this custom order, I get messages for custom orders, and most of them take a long time. We're chatting and they're picking colors and yarns and what they want and reference photos, and I sent pattern photos and all of that. This one literally he messaged me at like, I think around 8 o'clock 2 nights ago, and I think by 8:30 he had placed the order on my website, and I was able to pick up the yarn at Joann's the next morning, and luckily enough I was able to get the blue today, so now I am working on the turtle. But it is nice that it was a very simple, he was just sent me the picture or responded to the listing of the turtle he wanted, just in different colors, and just like that he picked his colors and it was done. And he is local, so I need to because he made a purchase online, so I do have the address, so I need to see what the best option is for delivery or meetup. I will never do pickups, at least not while I'm living at a house, obviously. If I ever have a warehouse and I have custom orders, I would love to be able to do pickups if that works for whoever. I would love to be able to offer pickups to where they can come to my warehouse and then they can come pick up their order. I think that would be really cool. So 2, 4, 6, right? Yep. So I think that would be a cool thing to do in the future, but we will see where, like, how he wants to. We didn't get to that part. I just know he's located in the same city as me, and I got his address from the order. But once this is ready and I send a picture, it gets approved by him, which it most likely will because that's exactly what he wanted. Then we will set a date and time that works. Maybe even it'll get dropped off today. Who knows? Because, like I said, I can do this in about an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 since I'm on live, possibly. I don't really know. I just thought this would be a good thing to go live for since I didn't exactly crochet in my last live. So it's like I will just delete the lives and I will go live today instead. 247. Okay. And this will be 8. Okay. So almost done with the head. I need to finish this last row and then decrease 2 rows and I will be done. But I like to add the eyes and the blush and the stuffing for the head now, and I also like to stuff the tail of the turtle, and I do like crochet the fin shut. So after I get to the shell and I need to add the fins, I can just sew it all and then I finish it and I sew the head on last after the entire body has been stuffed and to my liking. And then I add on the head, make sure it's straight, and then the plushie is done. So it's not too hard. Now we are decreasing, so I'm just gonna get rid of the stitch markers so I can definitely do this faster. Like this. I am also fluctuating with live times because I don't know when the best time to go live is. Days and times. So we will see. But I do like to keep the recordings for anyone who wants to go back or watch it, whatever. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Okay. So that is why I am currently talking for the replay. There we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Should be 18, right? Yep. And then last row for this turtle head. I'm not, like I said, I'm not exactly counting. I am just going, and we'll see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Off by 1 again. So 1 more. Oh, lost it because this yarn is kind of rough. And that should be 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Perfect. Yep. Okay, so we're going to cut this off. Make sure I leave plenty of yarn. I tend to go overboard with the yarn just in case. Especially when it comes to sewing, because it is really hard to add new yarn to something you're sewing, because it needs to be like already attached. So it's easier just to do extra, and then whatever's left over, you can either stuff it in the turtle, or you can cut it off and use the extra as fluff later on. So now I am just going to flatten this because it's 12 stitches. So there's 3 there, and there's 3 there. Okay, so I'm off by 1, and we'll do it like this, like that. There we go. And then I just flatten the head. So now it is kind of flat and pointy like this. There we go. And they go in between rows 4 and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I just put it in the only stitch you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 goes here. And now there are the eyes. I know it looks weird right now, but then obviously I unfline it and I flip this guy inside out slowly because I don't want to be stretching out where I have the stitches. In this case, because of the way the turtle head is shaped and how tight it is, because I do it at the end, I do need to flip it all the way out. When something like the ghost that I have been crocheting and I add the eyes to them, I only have to flip them in like a little bit to get past the eyes to make sure I don't burn any yarn, and then we're done. And then I just burn the edges for safety. I just want to really make sure they're sealed in place and they don't fall out of the yarn, which has happened before. So I just really want to make sure that they're sealed. So I flatten the back. So as you can see, I'm just using the bottom of the lighter to flatten the back of the eyeball there, and it really just keeps the eyeballs in place. And for eyes where I'm using really small eyes and a bigger yarn, I don't like doing that, but sometimes certain patterns, um, they need a certain size eyeball to make the design or whatever you're making look the way it's supposed to look. And I just hot glue around the backing for the safety eye, and it works just fine for me. I haven't had any problems yet since I started doing this. So I take the extra 10 seconds just to really secure these eyes in place because I don't want them falling out and either children eating them or pets eating them off of wherever your child is when the eye falls out of the plushie. And then a pet, dog, cat, rabbit, whatever, finds them and eats them, and we don't want that because they are plastic and they are hard. So at markets I do have, and in my description I do have a child warning. A lot of people still buy these for their children. I do see that very often. It is pretty common, but there is a warning sign, so just so they know. Obviously it's up to them, they know their child better. Where the heck is the inside? The yarn is missing. I don't want to pull too much out because I really don't use this pink like that. But I do have to make some more strawberry sea turtles, so forget it. I need to find the inside, and it's gone. Unless it's in here. It might be stuck in here. Okay, I think this is it right here. Yep. Okay. Luckily enough, I will be using that later on this week, so it's not that big of a deal. Sometimes I use one piece of yarn for both of the blush underneath both eyes, but for the turtle, I like to make them a lot more secure than like I do for the ghost. So I'm using a string for each eye, and it really just makes them in place because it keeps it tighter. And then I am able to tie it because the yarn is much closer together. I think for the turtles, I go across 2 stitches to make the blush a little bigger like that. And then we're going to go back under here. Okay, and then before tying it, I just take the same needle I was using, and I don't like how that looks. So before, like I said, before I tie it, I just really want to make sure I like how it looks, and in this case I don't. So since I haven't tied it yet, I'm able to just pull the yarn out of the stitches and do it again. So we're going to try this again. And I just start on the inside because when you have a stuffed plushie, you have to do it from another spot and then you go back to that same spot to tie it in. But since this plushie isn't stuffed when I'm doing these parts, it is a lot easier for me to just tie it in the back and go through the back. Honestly, it's less work because sewing with stuffing already in place is a hassle because the stuffing keeps coming out and then it's a whole mess. And then you have to sit there and lint roll your whole plushie because there's stuffing all over the outside of it because you had to sew things onto it, which is what I used to do until I realized that doing it like this was so much better. So I see the stitch. Got a feel for it. Here we go. Okay, I have to look at how I did this. And then I think I put it into, okay, see, now I got it off a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to put it in this spot instead. And then back into this spot here. And then back out here. There we go. There we go. And we have blush for the turtle, and I'm just going to flip the head inside out again so I can so I can tie the strings together just to make sure the yarn doesn't come out, which even if I don't tie this shut, usually the stuffing keeps it in place for the most part. It's just something like a turtle when I do a double blush, because some plushies, it's very rare now, but some plushies only have one strand of blush, and then for the most part, most of my plushies have two, so I go back in. So it just makes it thicker when using the same yarn instead of buying just a thicker yarn, because I use this yarn for other stuff. So you can see the two strings instead. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, wait. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Uh-oh, I have 13 stitches. That's not good. So now, I swear I counted beforehand. It's okay. So instead, I am just going to reopen up this here. And another reason I also leave an extra amount of yarn, just in case something happens and I need to fix stitches. So now I need to, well, this was supposed to be the bottom. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. That's why. Okay. It doesn't exactly matter because I can just turn the head any which way I need to. It's just going to be a little wonky now. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Now I can pull it through again. And there we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. So now the string is in a different place, but no worries because I just got new knitting sticks to help hold my plushies in place when I'm sewing them, like the pieces together. So I'm definitely going to try it out with this plushie because I use them to hold the head in place. So I'm going to try them out with this plushie instead since I just got them today. Kind of works out, huh? And then I am also just working on flattening here because it can definitely be a little pointy here. So kind of just while I'm stuffing, I round it out and go on the inside and add more stuffing. And stuffing it firmly kind of helps me be able to keep the shape how I want it to be. Like that. There we go. So now it's much more, it's rounded instead of pointy because this is how the head is going to go on. Well, it's upside down, but this is how the head is going to go on. So I'm going to stuff it some more. I used to be very frivolous with my stuffing, and then I realized it was making my plushies weak, and I wasn't stuffing them well enough. So now I do much better, and now they are very firm plushie. Not very firm, because they're still, like, soft and squishy and stuff, but they hold their shape. That's what I'm trying to say. Because I put enough stuffing in it, so now here we have the head of the turtle, just like that. And then I'm going to do the tail because the tail is the only other thing that is not magic wink, but not flat. So the tail is very simple. It is just a very small, quick thing. 2, 3, and 4. I do hate working with 4 single crochets just because it is so hard because it's so tiny. And then I just go 12. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then you just go around 1, 2, 3, and 4. And because this tail is so small, I can't have such a large end tail, so I just cut it off, and then after just one round, I pull it off and I flip the tail because this is the wrong side. So I need to flip it inside out because the way when you're initially crocheting, it doesn't actually go the way that it is supposed to. It goes and shows the back, and you have to make sure that you flip it because for the longest time I had no idea, and I wasn't flipping my plushies, and a whole bunch of my plushies, like when I was doing markets, someone pointed out that all of my plushies were like inside out, and the stitches you could see were the back stitches. So that's all fixed now. There's nothing to worry about. I got it fixed. But people who don't crochet, like no one ever noticed because it wasn't a big deal because you can't tell unless you crochet. So I was able to fix that, and one more time. See, it's just I hate how small it is. I mean, I get it because it's the tail, so I get why it's starting tiny. It's just really hard to. There we go. And it's even harder to do it with a rough yarn. So I don't really need a huge tail for this tail, because it doesn't go very far. There we go. And then we're just gonna. I stuffed the tiniest amount of stuffing in here. This specific pattern, I don't think she does. I just choose to keep it straight. Although the yarn in itself, because it is such a small item, it kind of does it on its own. So just to really make sure, I keep the tiniest amount of stuffing in there, and I just push it in with the end of my crochet hook because fingers won't fit in there. So, and then just the tiniest amount. See, so I just put it on top, and I use my hook to kind of stuff it in there. And if you're overstuffing because your stitches will start to separate, and you will start to see these fluff through the stitches, and you definitely don't want that. So because of there we go, just a small amount, and I tend to roll it out kind of just to thicken there we go, and then I flatten it again, and there are no problems. Here we go. Alrighty. Now we have the tail, very tiny, very small, and done. Now I need to make the fins, and the fins are actually different sizes. So the first turtle I ever made, I used a different pattern, and it was definitely not my preferred one. I definitely preferred this pattern. And the fins are different sizes on this one for the front and the back. The other one, they were not. So I have no idea what time it is. Okay, 12:30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you just, yep, okay. Now, this is fairly simple to do. You just keep increasing until you get just like a flat round circle, and then you fold it in half and make the fin, which you guys will see in just a minute. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. And then just 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Mm-hmm. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Yep. And 2 more rows. So I'm just going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this would be the end of the back fins, but I'm working on the front fins, so I have 1 more row to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to count the stitches just to make sure it should be at 30. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Perfect. So all I do is I sit here and I flatten it, and I just put it in the next stitch, and then I go back 2, and then I go across, and I single crochet, and I just go all the way down, sandwiching the sides together, and then this end tail I kind of just put in here, and it kind of just flattens on its own. And then I'm just gonna go all the way around the tail or all the way around the end of the fin for the sea turtle. And I am almost done. Just like this. And just a few more stitches to go. And done. There is one of the fins. So now you just cut a bit of a tail. Not too long though for this one. There we go. And there is one of the fins. Now I have to make one more in that size and then 2 more in a smaller size. I have a terrible headache and I don't know why. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to do this and be careful so I don't rip the yarn because it's kind of there goes that. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just increasing in every row, really. Increasing. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That should be the end of row 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Perfect. Then we're going to next row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that should be 6. Okay. 2 more rounds, and I need to pull this out because I do not want to be fighting this thing. And I still have a good amount of this blue yarn to use, so I can really pull out a good amount. And I won't have to worry about not using it all. Just like it would have done right there. Ooh, it's definitely getting softer. Okay, usually when there is a rough yarn, it's not very often, but you will get a whole skein of it. But for the most part, it's just like parts of the skein. I can feel it. It definitely got softer, I think. So. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This should be the end. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Perfect. And one more row on this fin. 1. Oh, sorry. Kind of messed up my counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Just double check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, and 30. Perfect. 30. And once again, we're just going to sew this shut. Not sew, but we're going to crochet this one shut, which is different from the other pattern where you sewed. And this one kind of gives a lip to the end of the fin, which I prefer rather than sewing. I love sewing, don't get me wrong. I just like the look that it gives sandwiching these together, and I think it works for a turtle fin. So okay, and a few more to go. Perfect. And sometimes you kind of just need to shape it a little bit, but there is the second one. And this one you're going to make a little bit longer of a tail because there's something extra to do with it. So for this one, just one of the 2 fins of each size, you have to do this. So I have to put the hook through the other end, and pull the yarn through, because when you're sewing, you need a fin on the same each side, but you need them looking the same, but one has to be mirrored. So you don't want one to be backwards or to see the back side. So instead, you just pull this yarn through here. There we go. And then you reshape it because you kind of just smushed it putting it in there. And now you have the fin here. It looks the exact same, except the sewing strings are on the opposite sides for the turtle. Now I need to make 2 of the smaller fins. which is just the same thing I'm doing with the bigger fins. I'm just not doing that very last row before I sandwich them together, which makes it just slightly smaller. So, and then I will move on to the orange, put it all together, and I will be done. So it won't take me but another maybe 30 minutes or so. And then, I don't know, we'll see what are we going to do about dropping this plushie off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is a very strange color combination because orange and blue are contrasting colors, which originally he was like, can you make a jaguar turtle that looks like this just with orange and blue instead? And there's not a like brunette because they mixed the green and the brown to make the color, but there is not a blue and orange in one yarn, like a multicolor, because they are complementary colors. So they don't go together. So this was the best I could do for him, and he was completely fine with that afterwards. Once I told him that that doesn't exist, because they are opposites. But doing a 2-tone turtle like I've done before works fine. 8, 10, and this will be 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Perfect. But it's a custom turtle because I had none of the colors. So I couldn't charge the same price as a turtle with the yarns that I use because I didn't have them. So this is considered a custom turtle because it is a team turtle and not just the blue turtle that I make with green instead of blue. It's not like that. So this is considered a custom turtle, so it's a different price, but all of that was already taken care of. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So, because I'm not sure I'm ever going to use these yarns again, I literally had to buy them for this plushie. I'm sure now that I have them, I will end up using them for something eventually, but this is a very pretty color. So it would be nice if I could find something to do with it, but who knows yet, because it is a very deep blue color. So I don't know what I would make with it, but hello. I am currently making a custom order for a sea turtle plushie, and I decided to just go on live and do it. So I am working on the back fins of the sea turtle right now, and then I will work on the shell, and then I will put it all together, and I will be done. There we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and 24. Perfect. So now I'm going to sandwich this together to make one of the back fins. And when I'm done, you'll see, just by skipping one row, it made it significantly smaller. So, hello, welcome to my live. Just crocheting right now. And just about done with this fin. There we go. Then we're just going to cut this off. There you go. Also, feel free to comment on my lives. I would love to answer any questions you have about any plushies you were looking to get, or if you're just here to see me working as another crocheter, that is awesome too. So here is the big fin, and then here is the little fin. So you can see them side by side, or not like on top of each other. It's literally just one row up, which is why it's like that, but front fin and back fin. So I have to make one more back fin, and then I can switch to the blue to start working on the shell of the turtle, which this last fin won't take too long because it is the smaller fin. And 6, perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, boys. Okay. And I'm just going to start on round 2 of this back fin. Going to, there we go, increase, lots of increasing with the fins. Increase. It's definitely hard to increase in the original, like the beginning magic circle, because it is so small, even with the 6 or an 8. 8's definitely a lot easier, but 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. We can move on to 1. Increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, I lost count. I think I said 4 too soon. Yep, that's an increase, I think. Let me check. Yep, okay. See, sometimes I just go a little too fast, and then this is increase here. There we go. I think that's all right. This is either 5 or 6. I need to check. I think it's 6. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Perfect. One more row, and I will be done with this last fin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Perfect. Double check my counting just to make sure. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Perfect. Then we're just going to crochet this shut for the last fin. Gotta make sure the stitches are lined up because I'm pretty much just taking a circle and folding it into an oval. So there are enough stitches. It's a round number. So I just need to make sure that they're even and I'm not accidentally going in the wrong stitches and messing up the order, which does happen. I think I did that once in the very beginning. I didn't close it shut right, so I've made so many turtles now, I definitely am good with it, but when I was first starting with that other pattern, it did not look right. And I give a lot of plushies. My dad likes to take a lot of my plushies, so pretty much like I've made special plushies for him, obviously, but a lot of my first plushies, because they don't go the way I want, so the original sea turtle, and also I made a Baby Yoda, which I do sell at markets. If you are interested, I will also sell them online, obviously, but I used a beige color instead of a tan color because I didn't have a tan yarn at the time, and it kept bothering me, so I decided I didn't like it, and I went out and bought the tan color just for that. I use it now for the booty turtles as well, but so it ended up working out in the end, but he has the original one with the different color because I didn't like it. Now we are on to the orange for the shell. I won't be using a lot of this yarn, Just because the shell is pretty small. There's the end. Okay, I thought that was the end. That is a end. I don't want to have to. Sometimes this is why, okay, somehow I have both ends. One end should be on the outside. Okay, hold on. I need to, that's why sometimes I really can't stand yarn, because now I need to figure out, okay, I think this one is the inside one. No, wait. No, I think it's just stuck on other yarns. Which they use machines to roll these, so I don't understand how they get so messed up. I don't get it. Okay, one of these is not like the other. I don't understand. Okay, maybe we'll pull from this way. Yeah, see, it's stuck again. Sometimes I can't stand yarn. See, because now I have a bleh on both sides, and I have no idea where this yarn goes. I don't think I'm pulling any of these. Okay, I think it's... Okay, you know what? Okay, see, this is the outside one. I think. Yes. I think it was just stuck in there. I don't understand. I'm not sure that there's... Oh, what did they do? Why is it... I stuck to the inside of the label. I, never pull these labels out. But I don't have a choice, because now I have to use it unraveled like this, and I hate it. I always pull it from the center. But Bernat sometimes just really wants to be difficult. Now I need to stuff these yarn barks back in here, and I know that's going to be a problem when I never get to the end of this yarn, because now I just have to sit here. See, guys, this is the dumbest thing ever. Because now I have to sit here and just and now I have to cake this instead of leaving it in a ball like I wanted to. Okay, we'll start with that, because I don't want to pull too much, especially because this shell isn't exactly, super huge or anything. So, I just need to make sure there we go. This is going to be a really small hook. This is a 5.5 millimeter with Bernat blanket, but I can't swap hook sizes, because then the fins and stuff won't fit, so it just makes this one really tight. Which, I don't know, I feel like if I switch to a 6.5 to fit the Bernat, it's not gonna look right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just gonna have to suck it up and power through this part. 1, 2, 3. Okay, sorry about that. I am back. 2, 4, 6, 8. I can't see because they're so tight. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I think there's one missing. Okay, I think in this one right here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, I think. Yep, okay, perfect. So I kind of need to just like, while I'm doing this, kind of pull it and stretch it a little bit just to really make sure it's, not as pointy as it came out to be last time. So 1 and increase, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see, it is a very tight fit because of this yarn, so I really need to just stretch it out the best I can without stretching it out too much, because there we go. Okay, I think that's definitely better. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Wait. See, I'm having trouble seeing the stitches right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Perfect. So I was a little worried. I had to double check to make sure before I kept going. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Perfect. So this is the beginning of the shell. You see how it's a little too pointy because this is a bigger turtle. So just need to see. There we go. Much better. You don't want it as coney. You want it more round. So, and then we're going to go all the way around. So instead of counting, that's what a stitch marker is for. Then I am just going to go all the way around instead. Boobity-boo. Okay. Ooh. Go all the way through. There we go. We got it. Okay. Okay. Can I just stretch this out? This isn't too bad. Hopefully it will work well enough. And then we have to do 3 and 4. That's the problem with this shell. Is you have to go out so wide. So now I'm going to use the stitch marker to count the increases too, just because it's easier instead of counting to just keep track of where I started and stopped. Because I kind of get a little distracted, so we're just gonna do it like this instead. I have noticed that this is now the second knot that I am finding in this yarn, which I do not like. Luckily enough, the Burnett, like the company, the knots are made, so they're so small it's not noticeable. Thank goodness. Just some more yarn there. There we go. Pretty sure it stopped at an increase. Yep. Okay. 2, 3, and increase, and then increase 1, 2, 3. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, increase, and last but not least, 2, 3, increase. Get that out of here. There we go. And I'm just gonna keep stretching this out after every round just to really make sure the shell will fit, because thankfully there is not a huge difference between these two yarns, which is why it's okay for them to be crossed over like this. It's just you always have to go with the smaller hook, which means whichever yarn is bigger, it's definitely way more, it's definitely harder to work with. So it's just answer that on here. I'm not getting it over here. So 1 minute. I'm gonna not answer. There we go. Because that was rude, and I'm just going to text her. One, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase. Okay, now we're back on track. 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase. And I need to figure out what happened to the internet, which is not good, because if I am live and the internet dropped, then my YouTube live is going to end. So I don't understand how it's still going. Okay, see, I have it on. Okay, we're just gonna try reconnecting. I think it's just messed up. Increase 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase. Perfect. Okay, there it goes. I guess it just disconnected for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase. And I think this is the last one. 3, 4, and this will be increase. It's tiny 5. Okay. Okay. Here's the shell now, because the shell is supposed to be much more flat. So I am going to be working it a little bit with the stuffing as well, which is good that I will be able to do that. Okay, and then okay. I think out of everything, the shell is probably the least fun part, just because ooh, okay, let's not do that. There is it's just boring, to be honest. And I stuffed this back in here, but it like came back out. go. It's just stuff got back in there too. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now we just have to do a round of simple stitches. So just all the way around. I'm going to close this just in case. There we go. And all the way around we go. It fell. There we go. And I am just about done with the shell, thank goodness, because this is tough. Alrighty. Okay. See, I keep losing the stitches because it's too dang small. Which I know kind of sounds backwards, but it makes sense. I promise. Alrighty. I don't know how blue yarn keeps appearing, but okay. Alright, and now I just have one thing left to do. One more row with this orange yarn. So now I need to front loop only, so I need 2 stitch markers, unfortunately, but that's alright. Just like that. There we go, and then we're gonna go all the way around again. Just in the front loop though, so we can kind of make the lip of the shell this way. Which is fun to do, just not with this yarn. Like, it's not the yarn that I am frustrated about, it's because I had to match the hooks, so now it's really just fighting me. You see? This is supposed to be much flatter, so I'm gonna have to kind of work that. But I should be able to do the trick. Worst case scenario, I am gonna have to sew down some pieces with just more orange yarn, which is a last minute resort, but it is possible if necessary. So we will see, because now I'm just going to do this. I feel like I pulled too much yarn now. That's alright though, because like I said, I might need to sew. I hope I don't have to, just because I don't like messing up the pretty stitches, but I can go in between and we should be good. Just hope that I can make this work without it. Okay, last few stitches. And technical difficulties, but I got it. And then I'm going to put one more in this last loop here. Here we go. Okay, I keep closing out and it keeps... Okay. Perfect. So now I need to just undo the second part of the stitch here. Now I will be switching to the blue yarn. Yes, yes. Woohoo! I'm so excited about it because now I don't have to work with this one and make it super tight either. Woohoo! Okay, I'm just going to leave this orange yarn attached for just a minute. And in the back loops of all the stitches, which is all the way down here, so I'm going to kind of just flip this inside out. And I leave the orange attached for just a little bit to make sure I got it secured before I cut it off. Okay. Perfect. And then I think I'm just going to go all the way around before I cut the yarn off. And I kind of just line it up with the stitches that I am working into. And you can kind of just see the lip forming. It's just inside out right now. Yeah, this yarn is... I don't know if it really got softer, the blue one, or if it just feels that way because I've been playing with the orange one for a little while now. So I'm not sure, but... Ooh. Okay. Perfect. Take that out, and that should be all three. Yep, okay. Now I can cut this orange yarn and put it away over there. And just real quick, I'm gonna leave some room. This kind of looks like a hat right now, huh? And we're just gonna tie these together just to really make sure it's secure. Always do a triple knot. 2 is only necessary. I do 3 for good luck. Just so it doesn't come out. And then I can, just to show you guys, I can go back and flip this like this. So the blue will be on the inside, and with the fins, this will kind of roll up like this a little bit, like that, kind of. So this is kind of what it'll look like, but I'm going to have to flatten down the shell a little bit more. So it'll kind of be like that and fatter and rounder, which you will see in a minute. So I was waiting for you to give in and come on. You're trying to keep them, right?
Preferably, but I don't have to.
Hold on. Stop spinning.
Yeah, stop spinning, you spinny chair.
Exactly. Since you're just using embroidery threads, these will work. Since it's so thin.
They're so rusty.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Now this is the longest, or the hard, I wouldn't say hardest because it's not hard anymore, but this is definitely the most confusing one of them all. Because you have to make a whole bunch of gaps. So 1 single crochet, then I'm going to chain 4, 3, and 4. Then I'm going to skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go into this one. And I think you do 5, right? Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And then chain 3, skip 3, and 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1. Okay, I have to do that again. 1 and 2. Then I know you chain 2, skip 2. Yep, and 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, 3, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 4, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. And then there we go. I did 2 rows of the decreasing. This one is probably the next weirdest because you have to decrease on chain sometimes, which is a little wonky. But that's okay. 1, 2, and I just have to grab the chain part. That would be 3 and 4, and then this will be the decrease, which never fits. There we go, and all the way around. Perfect. Then we do 1, 2, 3, 4, and decrease. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a decrease. Go to this one. Go into this one. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, and decrease. And I think I have 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and decrease. Last one, I think. No, there might be 2 left. I can't tell. This one's fighting me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Decrease. Let me count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 30. Perfect. Now we're at 30. All right. Now I have to do it one more time, but it's not as difficult because I'm not doing it into chains. Three and decrease. 1, 2, 3, and decrease. and decrease. There we go. Now we're almost done. See how the shell is a little wonky, so I need to really just fit that in. Okay, so now there are 5 holes for the turtle. Let me see what that was. And this is where you start sewing. So I always start with the tail. And I put the tail in first because it is the smallest hole. And I just put it into the bottom here. Like this. And there's only 4 stitches, so it's very simple to do. And then I just go to each one of the 4 and put it back in like this. Oops. Like that. Perfect. And I just to go back into the inside to bring this in, and I just leave it in there because it is so intertwined already. There is no need to cut or anything like that. So now I just put the turtle facing, the head facing away from me, so the tail is facing me. And I just match up the fins, so the fronts go here, and the back guys go here. And then I flip the turtle over because I need to sew. So then I just flip the shells and make sure I sew them backwards too. So I usually start with the bigger shells, or I keep saying shells, the bigger fins, and I just put it through the giant hole. And then I kind of just flip a little bit, and it's in there. I kind of just wing it because every plushie is kind of unique and special because no two are alike. Because I don't have a set, like I kind of just pull like an inch of the fin in, and then that is it. And I don't really like count or measure or anything like that. And I just sew around it, pull it out, and I kind of just fix the shape of the fin because the ones that are inside out, or the yarn went through the entire fin, it kind of pulls on it when I'm sewing the whole thing. So that would be the back fin. Okay, there we go. I almost grabbed the wrong fin, and having to undo these stitches is very complicated. So just put these back through here. Perfect. And I do try to make it even between all 4 of the fins on the same turtle best I can, but like I said, I don't measure anything, so I kind of just look at it and it looks even enough, and then I sew it. There is no exact to something like this. So there we go. Now we gotta add in the back fins. And then obviously the back fins are smaller, so they go in slightly less. And I kind of just go all around to really make sure it is secure and the yarn is holding the fin in place. So I'm sandwiching between both sides of the hole on the shell that I just created, and then also going through the fin on top of that, which is what kind of keeps the thing in place. And just last fin. Like I said, go in, flip it out, and sew it on. Just like that. There we go. Kind of make sure they're all evened out. Perfect. And now we have the fins on the turtle. So that's what he's looking from the main side so far. So cute and adorable. So wrong button, this button. Yep. Okay. So I have to go one more time, but I am going to start stuffing now because I really need to start forming the shape because the shell is a little all over the place. Just a little bit because of the yarn. So I'm gonna try my best to flatten it out. But like I said, there's only, I can definitely work more on this, but there is still only so much that I can do because, like I said, the yarn is different, and there's just nothing I can do about it. So, see, so this is still very, very empty. So we're just going to keep stuffing and keep stuffing until it is tight enough in here that I can shape it to my own will. Just kind of, there we go. See, much more round, but still not enough stuffing because there was an air pocket right there. So, more stuffing. And I kind of just take the stuffing that's already in there and push it up to kind of help build the shape. So in this case, I need to sandwich it down a little bit because of the new yarn, or not the new yarn, but the different yarn. And I kind of need to, like I said, use the stuffing to bend it to my will. See, it is very open right there, which I do not like. So another hole and some more stuffing right there. Ooh, my phone. I really need to plug it up. Alright, I'm almost done, so it's okay. There we go. That's probably the best I'm going to get. And that's not terrible at all. Look at how cute he is. Yes, and I'm still going to add more as I keep working on this guy. I just need to plug my phone in. So I need to pull this cord. Okay. Computer fell off the stand. There we go. I think I'm just gonna. There it goes. Alrighty. Back to how I had this thing. It's kind of the best I'm gonna get it. So. Okay. I'm gonna put these away so I don't lose them. Okay. Now we are back to crocheting after all that sewing and stuffing. Ooh, almost lost it, but I just realized in time. Okay, so now we're gonna do 2, 1, decrease done. Perfect. So, to go all the way around like 4 more times, but that's how crocheting works. That's 1. Alright. And then another decrease. That's 1. And then we're just going to keep going around. This is the part where it gets a little annoying because the fins are always in the way of the extra yarn. So you constantly have to go back and move it because it gets stuck on one of the fins. I lost count. I'm just going around until I get back to one, and then I will recount. So this might be the last one. I might have one more. I have to check. All right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Yep, one more. Which is what I thought because the end part is over here. Yep. Perfect. There we go. As I make this smaller, I will begin stuffing a little more. Actually, I think I'll do a little bit now. And continue to bend it and bend it and bend it. There we go. And like I said, you also don't want to overstuff because you will get holes and you do not want that. Okay, that might be the max amount of stuffing, and I just need to finish crocheting this. Okay, let's see. Because this is going to be 1 and a decrease. Two, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I do hate. There we go. Okay, I think that's the best. I'm gonna get it. Yep. Okay, one last row, and then sewing it shut, and then I'll add on the head, and we will be done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that leaves 6. Yep. This, make sure we have enough wiggle room to sew it shut, and that should be plenty big enough. Yep, perfect. Okay. We're down to the home stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, okay. So go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we're going to slowly tighten it because the yarn loves to break. And you definitely don't want that happening. So that's as tight as I can get it. Usually I can get it tighter, but I'm going to use moving this yarn around as my way of tightening because I don't want to push it anymore. Because then you risk ripping, or like the yarn will rip, and I definitely don't want to do that because then it's even harder to sew this thing shut, and we don't want that. So I'm gonna shut this guy down. Perfect. And since it's such a small tail, I'm just gonna stuff the rest of it in there. Perfect. And the center bottom will never look perfect because you're kind of just hand sewing it, but it is definitely up there. Okay, here is the turtle so far. Perfect. I just need to add on the head. I am sorry, I keep saying perfect and I just realized it. And I'm going to be using those new knitting needles I just bought. Here we go. For holding the head, so I'm going to be using the purple ones. Just because they're the smallest. And I'm going to leave this on the table so I can kind of stare at it. And I'm going to take this main one. And I'm just going to very carefully, because I don't want to disturb the stuffing. So just very softly go through, and then I think I'm going to stick it right there, I think. Just to really make sure, but let me just... Okay, see, now it's off. There we go, it's like that. And then he will look like this, and I still need to shape it just a little bit more, but I think I'm going to use this last hook just to really keep it in place so it doesn't... There we go. So the head doesn't turn anymore. Then this will be what the turtle looks like. So he looks a lot pointier than he really is, I promise. And we're going to go and sew him on real quick. And unfortunately, this time we are starting kind of on the end because the end of the head got messed up by one stitch and I had to go and fix it. So now I just have to go through each and every stitch, which is very hard to find. So I don't recommend it. I'm just playing. You have to do this with plushies, especially plushies with body parts. Yeah. So now we're down to the final stretch, because this is the last part of the plushie, which is sewing the head on. I know you guys can't really see, but I really need this back part up close because this is where the shell meets where the head is, and you can't really see. So I'm just going to keep it down here just for a second, and then I will show you guys when I get back to... Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. And then we're just going to keep sewing around, all the way around. And I am just grabbing the open stitches from the head, and I am just going around and using whatever stitches from the body, because they're all closed, and just pulling them, which, well, not whatever stitches. There are stitches you use that keep it in the spot that you're putting it in. So obviously you stick with the row that you are using to keep it straight like this. And final stretch, guys, we're in the bottom. Sometimes I go like in the same stitch twice, not that I mean to, but it's really hard to see what stitches you've already gone in. And honestly, it's just extra security, to be honest. So it really doesn't hurt if you do anyway. So I don't mind it. And then this should be the last stitch. Yep. Okay, now before I put the end of the tail in, I just really make sure that this head is in place, because it is hard, but it is still possible for me to pull the head out and do it. It's just the head is not ever... There we go. Perfect. And he looks like that. So, like I said, his shell is kind of... There we go. It's probably the best I'm going to be able to get it. Let me just seal this guy. And now I'm going to put the head one in the shell here, just to really make sure. And again, there's not a long tail. Usually I cut them off, but I just really want to make sure they're secure. So it's kind of just like wrapped around itself inside. It will take a lot. It won't come out. So, alright, I think that is the end. I'm just gonna wipe the plushie down. Okay. And here he is. This is a custom turtle for a custom order. This pretty dark blue and this orange shell. So cute. Look at him, guys. I'm sorry, but I just absolutely adore everything about these sea turtles that I make, except for the fact they take me about an hour and a half to make each one. So cute. Look at him. Oh my goodness. He's so cute. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching this live, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.